Shalom Israel, Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waha, Rachakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this word. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity. This is a Matthew from the GMS Dallas camp, and wanted to go into a quick lesson. Lord willing, this to be edifying. I was talking to a brother, this is a brother in the gym the other day, and big brother. He was, you know, working out, and me and the brothers just started chopping it up, and I noticed he had under his hoodie he had some fringes on, and he I noticed it, and basically he went into it. He listened to IUIC, so he asked me, how did I get into the truth, and who do I study under, basically, and I let him know, hey, GMS. So he shook his head, basically, and the first thing that came out of his mouth is, oh, y'all be being so basically harsh or vulgar to women, you know? And he went on to tell me, it's good we trying to bring people to the fold, not, the flock to the fold, not push them far away. So, and, and from my experience, since I've been into the truth, we have a lot of women starting to listen, women come by the camps and they'll listen to us, have questions. You'll have women on the comment boards, so, but the thing is, when the spirit of the truth coming out, vulgar, or I don't see it as vulgar, but is it coming out with a more aggressive tone? I mean, that's just meant for the spirit at the time to come out like that. But like you say, if you come and provide a calm dialogue, or or just don't try to abruptly interrupt someone, then yeah, we're gonna provide proper dialogue with you. But if you come all rowdy and this and that, I mean, you get what the spirit provides through the spirit of the men of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, right? What did Paul say? Though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge, right? Matter of fact, before we jump into that, this is 2 Corinthians 11:6. It says, and this is Paul speaking, right? And what do you say? But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, but we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. So we have Jake take more of how things are being presented than really actually listen to what's being presented, if I'm saying that correctly. You know what I'm saying? They're listening. They're listening to the tone. You know what I'm saying? Who is coming from? They're not listening to the words, like Chris Tucker said on with the rush hour. You listening to the words that's coming out of my mouth? That's what the thing he's trying to do. Are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth? You know what I'm saying? About salvation, about America's going to be destroyed, about the World War III is coming about, Jacob's trouble, you know what I'm saying? Famine, pestilence, okay? The Lord, the day of the Lord is coming, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be darkness and not light. Are you listening to that, or you're listening to how the tone of my voice is presenting it? If that's the case, then you can consider yourself just doomed. But as we were discussing, he came up with like dealing with the woman, and Jake just, but he seemed like he was a cool brother. Not to digress, but he went into the incidents with the woman in the well, and that's why I wanted to bring forth here today. And he was saying, hey, the woman at the well, she was a Samaritan woman, and even though she was a Samaritan woman, she was an Israelite. And I was like, hey, I don't think she was an actual Israelite, which I knew, but I'm just trying to, and I was like, she was a Samaritan woman. And I was going to try to go through the breakdown of why, providing why she's not a Samaritan woman, but she wasn't not of Israel. But he just, hey, brother, no, she was. She was a Samaritan woman, and he kept pushing it. So, hey, I listened, because every time I tried to break it down, he kept telling me no. So I listened, and he provided his brief details, which came out to be that was nothing he presented that was correct, because he didn't give me no precept, no evidence of to prove that. But I was gonna pull out my sword and or just on my phone and try to show him, but the brother wasn't hearing it. I was doing my workout, so I was getting ready to head on. I was like, yeah, brother. So, Lord willing, we both stay in the truth. Because we at the end. But I want to get into this incident. This was into the Samaritan woman at the well, and we can kind of jump through it. Lord willing, this be edifying. This is John 4:1. It says, "When therefore the Yahweh knew how the Pharisees uh, had heard that Yahweh Shai made and baptized more disciples than John." Okay. Then it say, though Yahweh Shai himself baptized, but not in the spirit. Okay. So we're gonna jump down here. It said he left Judea and departed again into Galilee, and he must need go through Samaria. They cometh into a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar. All right, near the parcel on ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Right, and it says, now Jacob was there. Yahushua therefore being uh, uh, wearied in his journey, sat thus on the wall, and it was about 6 hours. Okay, now here we go. It says, there cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahushua saith unto her, give me to drink. Now, when you look at this, it says, it don't say, um, there cometh a Samaritan woman. It says, there cometh a woman of Samaria, okay, to drink water. She sojourned, she presided in Samaria. Not saying she was actually a woman that was of Israel, right? So we got to look at that. Now, when you look at the time of, let's read through it, because when you look at the time of how the heathens got in Samaria, that was after the siege, right, of the Assyrian siege. All right, so we're just gonna keep on reading, and then we're gonna prove that point as well. And it said, like it said, the Samaritan wanted to draw water. And it said, Yahushua said unto her, give me to drink. Okay. Now I wanted to go on here because this is going to verses 4 and 26. And let me scroll up here of John 4. So did I pass it? Uh-oh, Salaki. Okay. So it says we have an account here of the good Mashiach, which is Yahweh Shai, did in Samaria. All right, when he passed through the country and its way to Galilee. Right. So this is going into this account right here. All right. So he was talking to the woman in Samaria, said, "Give me something to drink." John 4:28 it says, and his disciple was going away unto the city to buy meat. Okay. And the woman of Samaria say unto, then said the woman of Samaria, how has it that thou being a Jew askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealing with the Samaritans. Now, why is that? Now you can say because it was a split. No, but let's go and listen to this commentary. Now this commentary is the Matthew Henry, okay. And this is going into verses 4 through 26 in John 4. Now we just read that Yahweh shall pass through the country in his way to on his way to Galilee. Now let's read right here. It says the Samaritans, both in blood and religion, were mongrel Jews. Okay, it says the Samaritans, both in blood and religion, were mongrel Jews. So both in blood and religion, right? So this was uh, um, people that were descendants of Jacob, not inherited like the Jews over there in Israel trying to say, we inherited, okay? And they were trying to call them mongrel Jews. Let's see what mongrel is here. Mongrel, a dog not definable type of breed, okay? A mutt, so or somebody not definable type of breed, okay? So we're trying to say the Samaritans, both in blood and religion, were mongrel Jews. The posterity of the colonies which the Assyrian planted, okay? The posterity, so the blood and religion of these Samaritans were planted, and you said posterity, all future generation of people, okay? So the king of Assyria planted these people here, okay? And it says the posterity of these colonies, which the king of Assyria planted there after the captivity of the 10 tribes. Okay, and you can read that account in Second Kings, um, the 17th verse. It says, "With whom the poor of the land that were left behind." And many of the Jews afterward incorporated themselves. Okay, it says they worship the God of Israel only, to whom they erected the temple of Gerizim in competition with that at Jerusalem. Okay, so they were trying to do their own thing, right? And we can keep going, but like I say, these were not the actual um, inhabitants. The Israelite that was inhabiting the capital of Samaria at that time. They had already been seized, the 10 tribes, and they had already been captain and carried away, right? And I think it tells you some of them that were left. Let me see here. Okay, it said they worship the God of Israel only, to whom they erected a temple of Gerizim in competition with that at Jerusalem. There was a great enmity between them and the Jews. The Samaritans would not admit Mashiach, which they saw he was going to Jerusalem. The Jews thought they could not give him a worse name. Okay, let's go on. He is a Samaritan. Okay, so let's see. Do we go into that? Okay, it says when the Jews were in prosperity, the Samaritans claimed kindred to them. All right, so they claimed the kindred. So they came in and said, we're going to be kindreds to them, right? Come on now. So this woman was out of that flock of those of the heathen that was presiding in Samaria. So when you go back, it says the one then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, asketh drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealing with the Samaritan. Yahweh answered and said unto her, if thou knowest the gift of Yahweh, and who is it that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou would have he asked of him, and he would have given the living water. Okay? It says, the woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. For whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well and drank thereof himself, as his children and his cattle? And all right, and Jehovah answered and said unto her, whoever drinketh in this water shall thirst again, but whoever drinketh in the water that shall give him neither shall thirst, but the water that I have give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Okay, and that's when she's asking, give me this water, and the Lord broke down her husbands and everything. Now let's go down here, okay, where it says verse 19, it says, the woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. our fathers worship in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yeah, how? Okay, so this is where he said, "I perceive you a prophet," and this is where we. I heard Jerusalem is the place we ought to worship, right? So she's trying to include herself, right? So verse 21, he says, Yahweh said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship. For salvation is of the Jews. Why did he say that? He said it's of the Jews because the salvation is for the Israelites, it's for the Jews. If it was still the northern kingdom that was presiding, you had them here and there, the ones that didn't go get carried away in captivity, but who was presiding there was a lot of the heathens, which, as it says, the king of Assyria planted there. It was just read in the commentary. So what he said is, like I say, you know what you're not, you don't know what you're worshiping. You try to take us and try to claim us as kin, but we're not. He says, so salvation is the Jews. All right. Let me just get the last one. It says, but the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in the spirit and truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. So the Father seeketh the true nation of Israel to worship him. Okay. The other nation would just have to follow suit because we are the prince of the prince of the power. Okay. Yasharala. Now, when he was, like I say, brother, he was in, he was kind of going off, and I wanted to kind of speak to him on it, but he was just so adamant, basically just kept shaking his head, and every time I tried to say two words, what I'm saying, it wasn't my platform. He worked out a lot, looked like, so it might have been his platform in the gym. So I took heed and said, I'm gonna listen to what you're saying, knowing that it was not correct. He didn't have anything to back it up, and he didn't want to hear anything what I was trying to say. I tried. I kept saying, hey, well, brother, the Samaritan woman, and tried to break down, how, 2 Kings 17 goes into it, you know? Matter of fact, there you go, right there. What is this? 2 Kings 17:1, it said, in the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Eli, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years, right? And it says, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the king of Israel that did before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Syria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea. Salakia, dogs barking. All right. Let them outside and then start barking. So Salakia. All right. As mentioned, like it says, and the king of Assyria found conspiracy in this back in verse 4. And Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to so king of Egypt and brought no present to the king of Assyria, and he had done year by year. Therefore, the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all of the land and went up into Samaria and besieged 3 years. All right, in the ninth year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in harbor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes. All right. So that's what happened. Okay. That's what happened. But you can go through and just keep reading. And like I say, this is what happened. And this is how, when you go into the commentary, what happened when the king of Assyria planted thereafter the captivity of the 10 tribes with whom the poor of the land that were left behind. and many of the Jews afterwards incorporated themselves. Okay, so this is basically where the king of Syria planted. He planted these um, these other nations there, were other people there, and said they were the nation of Israel. Okay, but when you go into this account here in regards to John 4, the woman at the well, she was not an Israelite woman. I was thinking the brother was getting it confused where Matthew 15 and 24, when um, this says the woman of Canaan. And it was just like up here where it says in verse 5, then cometh a he to the Salakia. Salakia. It says, verse 7, there cometh a woman of Samaria. Not, it didn't say a Samaritan woman, a woman of Samaria. I know it's wordplay right there, you know. But matter of fact, let me do one more and let's just finish this up. This is Matthew 15. Okay. Yeah, I believe it's Matthew 15, 24th verse. Okay, 15 and 22, it says, and behold, a woman of Canaan, okay, came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Yahweh, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. Now, it would say, see, this is a woman of Samaria, a Canaan. This is not a Canaanite woman. She dwelled in Canaan. It would have said a Canaanite woman, but it was a woman of Canaan, okay? If I'm originally from Mississippi and they say, okay, this is a mafia of Dallas. Let's just say Mississippi, everybody had the same bloodline. Like the tribes. And I came to Texas, and they said this is Evan of Texas. I'm not a Texan. I live in Texas now, but they will say I'm a Mississippi man, but I'm of Texas. If that sounds correct to you. But going back, hey, the woman at the well was not an Israelite woman. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waha, Rachakadash, double honor to the apostle of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, the brothers that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity.